Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of January 15th through the 21st of 2018. Before I begin, I want to make mention that this week there will be a newsletter coming out outlining the details of what I'm doing on all my different social media platforms. And with regard to this particular video that comes out every week and how you will be able to access it, you're going to want to read that newsletter so that you will know where to find it when the end of the month rolls around and February is coming in. Okay, now as far as this week goes, on the 16th there will be a new moon in the sign of Capricorn, followed by Venus moving into the sign of Aquarius on the 17th. On the 19th, the sun will enter Aquarius. And I have to tell you, as I was putting down these cards, I was just kind of going, wow, 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 that kind of thing. Because by the time the sun moves into the Aquarius on the 19th, there are some very karmic events taking place. And, I have to tell you, they feel good to me, okay? They feel solid. I don't know how else to explain it. All this time where you've been, waiting and wondering what was coming, and something's happening, okay? Call it your fate, call it whatever. There's probably a major door that's opening for you. And, where I'm at, it's like the dead of winter, okay? And it's one of the coldest weeks of the entire year. And usually there's all this snow and everything else going on. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it fills you with warmth. And that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. The universe is really working hard this week to help you out. But, when I say that, it's not that you've sat and waited for this to happen. I think this is almost like, when you see a wish come in or a reward come in because of all of the hard work and the effort that you have put forth up until this time. It's like sometimes you work and you work and you work, and finally the work pays off. So this is a big deal. And granted, what seems like a big deal to you may not seem like a big deal to someone else, but in your world, it means a lot. It's almost like having a stroke of good luck. Like suddenly what you need is there. There's a sense of fresh starts here and throwing caution to the wind. I hadn't really given it much thought up until this point, but even though the year, was underway in a very good way, when we started with the full moon in Cancer back on the 1st, this feels different. It's like the new moon has arrived and things want to change, all right? I almost want to say it's time to throw caution to the wind. Mars is still in Scorpio through the 26th. There is so much that feels like it's going on. So I said it could be 0 degrees outside. It doesn't matter. One of the things that, and this feels good to me, because we've talked for the past several years about your fears over things going wrong, your fears over, them never being right, that, maybe you're not good enough for them to be right, all that type of thing. Your life is experiencing a rebirth. And, the issues that you've had, you're putting to rest. And you're really starting to realize this. So it's like when that little bit of doubt, that little bit of worry wants to creep in, you're like, no, my prayers are being answered. And I think you're up for the task, making important life decisions, okay? Not rushing into them, mind you, but making important life decisions where you're ready to go forward in a very meticulous manner, all right? And also creating balance within relationships. And I think that's a part of it in making it happen, okay? This is an important thing. So we have much to be celebrated in this time. but also there's, I think, the reflective part. You know, if you can weed away, see, like when you get rid of all the doubts and the fears, you can weed things away and just retain the good memories from before, because you're really working on being on more solid ground. You know, there's that winning attitude that's going on. Like no matter what, you have the clarity to overcome, you know, and it's not about so much about struggles anymore. It's about coming out the victor and saying, yes, I did it. You know, I've worked on it. Things are happening. And there's a better sense of fairness that's coming in. And I think now this is the third week of the month, right? Third week of the year, all that fun stuff. You know, I think you're getting a better sense of that, who you want to be when you grow up. It's not that you didn't know before what you wanted. It's that before there was always so much doubt and worry in the way, preventing you from really getting to it. Now I think it's like, okay, you know, this can be a happening thing. I need to work on this. Some of you I see with paperwork or work on the job, whatever it's around that you have to do. It doesn't have to be around the job, but things that you are taking care of, and you're just so, there's a focus that's here, an incredible focus and grounding, but at the same time, it feels good emotionally because you're creating new beginnings. There's something about January and the things that the universe is setting up now for you that puts you in a position to like really choose your direction next month. So don't worry if you don't see that choice coming up yet, where you're sure about, you know, which way to go and what to do. It's coming. But what you're focusing on is that new identity, your hopes and dreams, and how to make your wishes come true. Now, there was something in your life that I feel pretty much everybody needed to separate from something, okay, in order to achieve their wishes. There's nothing wrong with that, because while it may want to show it up as sad, it isn't sad, all right? It's really putting you in a much better position defensively. For some of you, it's putting you in a better position financially. And there is just, like, this is a story that just keeps rolling. These 3 months are, to me, when I look at the cards all the time, they're probably 3 of the most significant months of your life for making progress, you know, for making forward movement, for making, you know, life-altering decisions, and, you know, in general, that making things happen, making positive change happen. But very often, to create positive change, one needs to remove something from their life that no longer belongs. And, you know, everywhere I look, I see that there is tremendous change that has been and is being reflected in your outer world. But the inner change is just as important, because without those inner changes, you could not achieve the things that you're doing now. You know, there is this, I don't know if it's the 0 retrogrades or what, but you're just like, there is no stopping you. It's not so much like throwing caution to the wind. I don't know if I said that before or not, but it's, you know, there's like, you're willing to try, you know, new things, to make things happen. Okay? Things are much more, and I'm telling you, solid. The word solid feels so good here. You know, success over the hard times, they're done. Okay? They are done. Whatever was lingering. And, you know, I feel like by March, you've knocked out something like that, something that was missing, that's something that needed to happen. That's where the big change is coming in. Tremendous opportunity that's coming in, and reaping those rewards. And it plays out, that next part plays out from March to June. But what you're in right now, it just has all this potential for growth. And the only way that you're not going to see change is if you're just sitting there waiting for it to come to you. But I don't feel that you are. There is so much here. I'm always talking about like having a list and working on that list, whether you have physically written it down or mentally you've been working on it. The things in your life where you would like to see improvements. And I think for most of you out there, it isn't just one thing. If you're working, you're looking for things to be better on the job, whether it's a job or you work for yourself. If it's health-wise, everybody can always work on that. There's, relationships. There's all these different facets. And that's what you're feeling like is there's no task too big to take on in 2018. And I think it's wonderful that all of this energy has come in. And this new moon is extremely important, okay? You don't have even Mercury in shadow. So it's a serious new moon for getting down to business. But at the same time, it has this sense of, yes, just feeling more carefree. I'm absolutely loving this. I can't even begin to tell you. So it's all about what you're creating. But I don't know how to put it because, like I said, it's not like you're sitting there waiting, but there's definitely something special that's coming in this week. Whatever you have needed, wanted, worked for, it's on its way. Okay. And there's this, whatever's going on in April, and I've said this before, it's almost like all this change. Now, did I mention that this week we're in eclipse season? Okay. Yes. Once we hit that new moon in Capricorn, the next full moon coming up is a total lunar eclipse in Leo on January 31st. So we're in eclipse season, people. So that's what I'm saying. The changes are coming in. Things are really happening. It doesn't always make it really, really easy with decisions, but I think the things moving along and things happening will do you well. But I feel like there is this, it's as if you get to the end of March and April rolls around and someone draws back the curtain and says, here, is this what you've been looking for? And that's you going, yes, that's what I want. That's what I have been wanting in my life. Oh my God. Sorry, I had to turn that off for a moment. Oh my God. That's just it. It's, so don't think whatever it is that you're going in search of, that it's going to happen now. It's probably going to happen in April. That's the beginning of something new, where the universe lets you take a look behind that curtain. Might not give it to you in April, not the way you want it, but there's so much. This is an incredible year, all right? I know we're doing a weekly here, but this is an incredible year. You're just turning your back on all of the nonsense and focusing on happiness. I absolutely love this. So many of you are feeling that generosity of spirit, because I see it in the beginning. It's almost like good fortune coming your way. And you're like, da-da-da, I always think of like Gene Kelly dancing in the rain, that kind of thing where, nothing could get you down. Something about this week feels incredibly good. And I don't know what it is, because obviously it's going to be something different for every single person out there. But it has that sense of where you just want to go out, and pet every dog and, help every person and do everything. But I'll be honest with you, what you need to do, whatever this is, you need to make a plan. You need to really work at things, okay? Because once March comes, things are going to start to move rapidly. So this whole time period right now is bringing in a great deal of change, and preparation. But things are kind of turning. See, when you're in eclipse season, like I said, it's very difficult to make important decisions and to be 100% sure, because you don't know what it's like when you come out on the other side. But that you do come out on the other side. That's the thing. So January, February, you're kind of like back and forth, maybe sitting on the fence, but your creativity is sparked. Big time. Big time. Something with this week's new moon, and I'm telling you, it's just everything wants to happen. All right? Maybe you've been pacing yourself as the year began and, trying to be patient, do things in moderation, all of that. Now, see, there's solid commitments here as well. And the ones, I don't know how to explain this. See, here's the new moon and being thankful for the good commitments, what has survived. But there's something still, I don't know how to explain it, because if I was talking to you one-on-one, I could explain it. But, commitments doesn't necessarily mean like love relationships, that type of thing. But there's something that's still holding you back. Even with all the good that's coming in, it's like, right? You have to stop and you have to think about it. So, no retrograde energy, but, eclipse energy coming in. And that's going to be important. You know what's interesting? I mean, you heard me say throwing caution to the wind, but at the same time, you didn't hear me say rushing into anything. Okay? I think that this is a very slower moving, progressive, like the change is constant throughout. We already started experiencing it, but it's leading to this really big transition. You can't see everything that's coming. That's a part where you're like, because it isn't April yet. All right? You can wonder what's coming in April, but I think it's best to focus on what's here and now, what you have before you, what are your options, okay? So if there's a particular situation that's holding you back, chances are it's in that March-April time frame where it's done and you're free from it, that type of thing. But what you need right now, wow, manifestation. I think that's one of the key words for this entire month. And this week is definitely, no different for sure. All right. There's a great deal of success, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop here. Like if something good happens to you, you don't just sit down and say, oh, okay, that's cool. I got that now. No, it's like this energy comes in and you want to keep on going. You want to keep on making things happening, but you do it at a pace where you're doing it carefully, so now is not a time to be distracted, in other words. So if you're working on, creating a better financial portfolio for yourself, that's where your focus needs to remain. And then the next change will come. Eclipse season is going to show you some new things. And, we'll be talking about that more, in the next couple of weeks as we, get closer to that full moon total lunar eclipse. So, yes, it's going to be a very interesting ride for these next few weeks coming up. And I feel it's successful. And even if you doubt yourself for a moment, you're getting through it unscathed. Your whole personal belief system is probably going to change after this. And be very honest with you about that. So, right now, I think the best thing you can do is to trust in your intuition and just go on about your business. All right? Through your intuition comes your clarity, your power, and you're definitely getting things done. It's not meant as this big breakout type of energy right now, like where all of your achievements need to be on display. It's not quite like that. It's more like you need to just go on about your business and pay attention to everything that's happening, okay? And just keep rolling with it, because if you do that, you're going to see just so many events coming up. I have a feeling that these weekly readings get more and more positive as the growth continues. And I can't wait till we get to March to see what's going on, because that open doorway or curtain or whatever you want to call it in April that gives you a peek at what you can have, that is definitely worth seeing. So I want to thank you all very much for being here. Again, make sure you sign up to receive my newsletter or look for it through my social media outlets. And I will talk to you real soon. Take care.